Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. It's been a number of months since my last upload, and it was actually around the time of the last Vinegar Syndrome sale. So here we are again, the next Vinegar Syndrome sale. They just had their halfway to Black Friday sale, and I again participated in the flash sale, which happens in March. Typically, you get some discounts and first dibs on some of the new stuff, and then of course in May they do their halfway to Black Friday sale, which is just like their Black Friday sale except 6 months beforehand, and you get discounts catalog wide and a bunch of new releases. So I got a bunch of Vinegar Syndrome stuff here. Typical language will apply. I haven't seen most of these or heard of most of these, so they expose you to a whole new world of films I've never seen before. So, but before that, I have some other unrelated titles to go over. Dream a Little Dream from Vestron. This came out not too long ago. This is one I haven't seen in a while, but it gets pretty decent praise. It's been a while, so I'll have to look at it again and see how good it is. But it's got the Coreys, so it was one of their last really decent movies. Came out in the '90s, mid '90s, I think. Classic from the '80s, summer school. Have really fun memories of watching this on broadcast TV during my summer break back in the day. Really fun. Scream Factory's release of Wes Craven's Shocker, not Wes Craven's best film, but it was one of those impulse buys, inexpensive. It was like $10 or so. Did not come with a slip, but this one did. This is Misery from Scream Factory on Blu-ray. I sold my original MGM copy a long time ago, and you get one of those weird thoughts that I haven't seen this movie in a while. Look on Amazon, and it's like 10, $15, and it came with a slip. Great movie. Kathy Bates, I believe, won the Academy Award for this, and deservedly so. She played a great psychopath. And this is probably one of Stephen King's best, if not his best, film adaptation. Really good movie. A recent release, Black Friday, Devon Sawa, Bruce Campbell. I think I've heard kind of mixed reviews on it, but it's got Bruce Campbell. How bad could it really be? He's fighting zombies again. Kids in the Hall, Brain Candy. Really funny movie. If you're a fan of Kids in the Hall, you're going to like this. You're going to love it. It's really funny. If you're not a fan of them, you don't know who they are, maybe this humor is just not for you. It's not like highbrow or anything. It's not better than you. It's just a really funny movie, but like a lot of comedy troupes, like people don't get Monty Python. I love Monty Python. I love Kids in the Hall. This is a great movie. The only movie they ever did, probably because it wasn't very successful at the box office, but very fun movie. Very good, especially if you're a fan of Kids in the Hall. Blue Underground's release of Manhattan Baby. This is a Fulci movie, I do believe. I think I got this because it was going out of print. They might be retiring this for a 4K release. They've been doing a lot of their older catalog Blu-rays as 4Ks, and figured I'd pick it up before it got too expensive, and probably don't really care if I have this on 4K. The Blu-ray's probably going to be good enough. From Synapse, Steelbook of Tombs of the Blind Dead. Really nice artwork. This is a Steelbook. Very heavy. I'm kind of curious to see what's in the actual Steelbook itself. I've got this on the original DVD from Anchor Bay. I think it comes with Return of the Blind Dead, but this is just the first movie, Tombs. They always do a really good job. Does Synapse. Artwork again is fantastic. A lot of people complain. Imagine people on the internet complaining about something. Because they'll eventually release this as a standard edition. These aren't cheap. This is like $40. You get a really nice Steelbook set here. Really nice artwork. So there's a CD of the soundtrack like they do for some of the other stuff. Blu-ray, and you got a second disc, which looks like it's buried in there. US theatrical version. So a couple different versions of the movie. I wonder what would happen when they slim this down for a standard release. It'll probably be just the Blu-ray of the Spanish version. But like everything that Synapse has done, they're really careful in what they release. They don't do a lot of releases anymore, but everything they do is done very well. Looks great, and is usually presented very well. So very happy to have that. Good upgrade from the original DVD. Death Game, Grindhouse releasing. I saw this was from Grindhouse. I went ahead and pre-ordered it. All of their releases are done just like with Synapse with the utmost care. Really nice packaging, and the presentation is probably very good as well. Looks like a generic like 70s, 80s slasher, but I saw they're releasing something that was not a cannibal movie, so it'll go with my Grindhouse section. I got a few other releases. Wayne's World, Steelbook Anniversary Edition on Blu-ray. I got the 2-pack of the original Paramount releases on DVD, and at some point they'll probably release part 2 in the same style as this. So, classic. If you haven't seen this, go ahead and watch it. Go run, don't walk. Fantastic film. Another one of those weird impulse buys, Time Cop, Bloodsport, 2-on-1. Again, people complain about 2-on-1s, they don't like them, but they both look really good on here. They can only look so good, I guess. These are a handful of years old now, decades old. Bloodsport, of course, being the older of the two. But two of Van Damme's better movies, if not his best two, at least in my opinion. Bloodsport kind of holds up, and Time Cop's just fun. So that's it for the non-Vinegar Syndrome movies. Jump into the Vinegar Syndrome pile. Frightmare, and you're going to hear this a lot. Have not seen any of these, except for maybe 1 or 2. Don't know a whole heck of a lot about them. Vinegar Syndrome is great for introducing you to things you've never seen before, so this looked like an interesting one. During their sale, I'll go through and see what I've not picked up before, so this looked like a pretty interesting title. This is Graduation Day. This was one they released before, but this is a brand new reissue of the slipcover. I believe this is a different slipcover than what the original release had. And this is a throwback to the day of, walking through a video store and buying something purely based on how the cover looks. That's a really, really sweet cover. I've heard this is not so great. Hobgoblins. This is one of their new ones. I do believe they came out around the time of the most recent sale. This one looked interesting, and I've heard decent things about it. I'm sure it's not the greatest film, but it looks like it might be fun. Was it Alien Private Eye? Sounds terrible, so I'm not quite sure what I'm getting myself into, but I've heard it's decent. This one I have seen before, probably the only one in this pile, Miami Connection. I sold my Alamo Drafthouse version of this when I saw VinSyn was doing their release. And this is more akin of what the Alamo Drafthouse artwork looked like. Kind of a weird looking guy. But this one I've heard is legitimately good. People actually do like this late 80s cheesy kung fu action movie. And it's in 4K, so if they release, it'll look good. I was really excited about this one because it's something that's in the same vein as War Games, or maybe even Turk 182, from what I understand. Cloak and Dagger. This comes in that really nice Vinegar Syndrome box. It's like the magnet on one side. You kind of pull it up, and this thing opens up. And you have the stuff. So there it is. Looks like an old Atari cart or Atari packaging. There's your little book. That's really cool. Comes with a little old looking like Kmart like sticker on it. And if nothing else, again, it'll look great because it's on 4K. And the Vinegar Syndrome always does a great job on everything they release, even if the film itself may not be great. This is probably one of the ones that I'll watch first. The most controversial title, probably Thriller. This sold out really fast, or the release is sold out on the first day of the sale. This is the superset. They've since released a standalone 4K. I'm not sure exactly what the controversy is. Again, people on the internet just seem to want to bitch and complain about almost everything and anything. But I'm curious to see what all the gossip was, the hype on this, because some people said they love it, other people said they hated it. It's pretty graphic from what I understand. But from the outside, it looks like a pretty standard, 70s exploitation revenge type thing. So we'll see what this is about. This is one of the big things that came out in their sale, and I do believe this came if you did the everything purchase on the flash sale. So if nothing else, I'm glad I got it because it's sold out and it's probably a little more rare than the other stuff. So Voyage, of the Rock Aliens. Craig Sheffer, you know that guy. He was biggest movie he was in was probably A River Runs Through It. He was in Hellraiser, Inferno. He was the lead in Nightbreed. You know those guys. You've seen him in a bunch of places. He was also in the Vinegar Syndrome released film Grave, or they released the Blu-ray of it anyway, The Grave. Early 80s, looks really interesting. I'm sure it's cheesy and fun. Can't show the back of this, scared to death. Heard maybe not so great things about it. But again, it's one of those VinSyn things that kind of introduces you to something you've never seen before, so we'll see how it is. Hard Rock Zombies. How can you not like this? This looks like it's a lot of fun. Hard Rock Zombies. Can't show the front of this, but it's Flesh Eater Revenge of the Living Dead. This is fine. I can show the back. It said Stanley, so I wasn't quite sure what it was, but it's Horror High. Not quite sure what the correlation is. Horror High plus Stanley. Okay, so we'll see how that is. And again, when these sales come out through Vinegar Syndrome, a lot of the stuff is deeply discounted, especially their older catalog stuff, especially when there's no slipcover for it anymore. So here's some older titles from Vinegar Syndrome. This one looked really interesting. Death Row Game Show looks like a combination of like Running Man, and like dystopian future type thing. Description sounded neat. Trailer looked pretty cool, so I figured for like $15 or so, how can it go wrong? And Punk Vacation. Another one of these exploitation type things. So I think there's lots of good stuff there from Vinegar Syndrome. Lots of good stuff from the odd pile of randomness. When I think of something like, oh man, I haven't seen Bloodsport in forever. Hey, it's on Amazon for $10. Let's go ahead and buy it. And that's pretty much what I've been doing for most of my pickups lately. There's really not a whole lot that's coming out that I'm interested in. I have pretty much everything I think I would ever want. But I do stick and see what's on the new release weekly sites. Always see what Vinegar Syndrome has coming out. These days Arrow and Scream Factory aren't releasing a whole lot of stuff that I'm terribly interested in, and so I buy things kind of as they come up, or as I upgrade from DVD to Blue, which I don't really do a whole lot anymore because I've already done that on most of my collection. So hopefully I'll have a new update video sooner than 6 months. Hopefully it'll be before the next Vinegar Syndrome sale. And yeah, so bunch of stuff here. I got to reorganize my collection. Maybe I'll do a room video and update because there's some new shelves in there and stuff to look at there. So that's about it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one, whenever that may be.